Richard Harding Davis was an American newspaper reporter who was in Brussels on August 20th, 1914. While seated at a cafe, he provides his first-hand account of the seemingly endless German war machine entering the city. The change came at 10 in the morning. It was as though a wand was waved, and from a fete day on the continent, we had been wafted to London on a rainy Sunday. The boulevards fell suddenly empty. There was not a house that was not closely shuttered. Along the route by which we now knew the Germans were advancing, it was as though the plague stalked. That no one should fire from a window, that to the conquerors no one should offer insult. Burgomaster Max sent out as special constables men he trusted. Their badge of authority was a walking stick and a piece of paper fluttering from a buttonhole. These, the police and the servants and caretakers of the houses that lined the boulevards alone, were visible. At 11 o'clock, unobserved but by this official audience, down the Boulevard Waterloo came the advance guard of the German army. It consisted of 3 men, a captain, and 2 privates on bicycles. Their rifles were slung across their shoulders. They rode unwarily, with as little concern as the members of a touring club out for a holiday. Behind them, so close upon each other that to cross from one sidewalk to the other was not possible, came the Uhlans, infantry, and the guns. For 2 hours I watched them, and then, bored with the monotony of it, returned to the hotel. After an hour, from beneath my window, I still could hear them. Another hour and another went by. They still were passing. Boredom gave way to wonder. The thing fascinated you, against your will, dragged you back to the sidewalk, and held you there open-eyed. No longer was it regiments of men marching, but something uncanny, inhuman, a force of nature like a landslide, a tidal wave, or lava sweeping down a mountain. It was not of this earth, but mysterious, ghost-like. It carried all the mystery and menace of a fog rolling toward you across the sea. The German army moved into Brussels as smoothly and as compactly as an Empire State Express. There were no halts, no open places, no stragglers. For the grey automobiles and the grey motorcycles bearing messengers one side of the street always was kept clear. And so compact was the column, so rigid the vigilance of the file closers, that at the rate of 40 miles an hour, a car could race the length of the column and need not stop. For never did a single horse or man once swerve from its course. All through the night, like a tumult of a river, when it races between the cliffs of a canyon, in my sleep I could hear the steady roar of the passing army, and when early in the morning I went to the window, the chain of steel was still unbroken. It was like the torrent that swept down the Connemore Valley and destroyed Johnstown. This was a machine, endless, tireless, with the delicate organization of a watch and the brute power of a steamroller. And for 3 days and 3 nights through Brussels it roared and rumbled, a cataract of molten lead. The infantry marched singing, with their iron-shod boots beating out the time. They sang Fatherland, My Fatherland. Between each line of song they took 3 steps. At times 2,000 men were singing together in absolute rhythm and beat. It was like blows from giant pile drivers. When the melody gave way, the silence was broken, only by the stamp of iron-shod boots, and then again the song rose. When the singing ceased, the bands played marches. They were followed by the rumble of the howitzers, the creaking of wheels and of chains clanking against the cobblestones, and the sharp, bell-like voices of the bugles. More Uhlans followed, the hooves of their magnificent horses ringing like thousands of steel hammers breaking stones in a road. And after them, the giant siege guns rumbling, growling, the mitrailleuses with drag chains ringing, the field pieces with creaking axles, complaining brakes, the grinding of the steel-rimmed wheels against the stones echoing and re-echoing from the house front. When at night for an instant the machine halted, the silence awoke you, as at sea you wake when the screw stops. For 3 days and 3 nights the column of grey, with hundreds of thousands of bayonets and hundreds of thousands of lances, with grey transport wagons, grey ammunition carts, grey ambulances, grey cannon, like a river of steel, cut Brussels in two.